Welcome to Neville Manifestation, your space to awaken the power within and step into the reality you truly deserve. If you're ready to stop chasing and start embodying your desires, make sure to join our membership and become part of a community dedicated to mastering the art of inner transformation. You are not just this body you see in the mirror. You are not your thoughts, your name, or the story you were given at birth. You are not your past mistakes, nor even your biggest achievements. You are something far deeper and more powerful than all of that. At your core, you are imagination itself. You are the eternal I am, the living presence within. And when this truth is not just understood mentally, but felt deeply in stillness, everything begins to change. That's when you truly learn what it means to relax, to let go, and to trust. Letting go is not giving up. It is not defeat. It is one of the highest forms of faith. It is the moment you stop fighting what you see and start trusting what you know within. It means you stop trying to force life to match your anxiety and instead step into the inner state where your desire is already fulfilled. When you do that, the outer world has no choice but to follow. But first you must trust. You must settle into the quiet knowing that the power within you is already doing the work. Relaxation is not laziness. It is not doing nothing. It is a kind of surrender that comes from strength. When you truly relax, you are silently saying, it is already done. There is nothing left to prove, nothing to chase, nothing to force. And in that calm certainty, things begin to unfold naturally, in ways effort alone could never achieve. You don't create by struggling, you create by knowing. You don't attract by chasing, you attract by becoming. At night, when everything grows quiet and you close your eyes, you meet your real self, the part of you that holds all power. This is the place where you can revise your past, reshape your present, and open new doors for your future. That quiet inner voice, that still awareness, is the intelligence behind everything. And this is what you are meant to trust. Trusting life is really trusting yourself, because there is no separation between you and what you call the universe. The world around you is only reflecting what is happening within you. So trying to control the outside without changing the inside only keeps you stuck. Letting go begins when you stop looking to the world for proof. The world is just a mirror. If you keep searching it for validation, you stay trapped in appearances. But when you feel your desire is already real, so real that it becomes natural, you shift into a new version of yourself. You move from hoping into knowing. There is a simple but powerful art to this. It's called assumption. When you accept something as true without needing evidence, you plant a seed in the unseen. If you stay loyal to that feeling, the outer world must eventually reflect it. That is how the law works. But you have to remain calm. You have to let the old version of your life fade away. The old cannot come with you into the new. The more you try to force something to happen, the more you confirm that it isn't here yet. Constantly talking about it, worrying about it, or planning every detail only keeps you in the state of not having it. That's why so many people struggle. They haven't really let go. They are still reaching, still asking, still doubting. But fulfillment doesn't come from begging. It comes from accepting that it is already yours. You cannot live in two states at once. You cannot say you have something while secretly fearing you don't. Your inner conversation matters. Speak to yourself as if it's already done. Hear the congratulations in your mind. Carry yourself like someone who has already succeeded. This is the shift, not through force, but through being. Relaxation opens the door for everything. It's like planting a seed and allowing it to grow. If you keep digging it up to check on it, it will never take root. The same is true here. Assume your desire is fulfilled. Feel the relief. Smile, even if no one else can see it. Know that your part is complete. Everything else will unfold on its own. You are not here to figure out how it will happen. That is not your job. Your only responsibility is the state you live in. Everything already exists. Every possibility is already present. You are simply choosing which version to experience by aligning with it internally. When you fully step into that version of yourself, life reorganizes itself to match. Many people say they are visualizing or affirming, but nothing changes. The reason is simple. They are still holding on. They are still looking to the outside for confirmation instead of trusting the inside first. You have to reverse that. You must believe first, without evidence. That is how the unseen becomes seen. Trust is not blindness. It is a deeper kind of seeing. You begin to rely on imagination instead of physical proof. You speak as if it's already yours, because on a higher level, it already is. Time is not what you think it is. In imagination, everything exists now. The moment you truly accept a new state, things begin to shift. People change, situations move, and opportunities appear. Not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. Letting go is choosing not to entertain anything that contradicts your vision. It is not weakness, it is control in its highest form. The person who can sit in silence and feel it is done is the one who shapes their reality. The one who doesn't need proof becomes the proof. So go within, be still, feel what you want as if it's already real. Let that feeling fill you completely and then release it. Don't worry about how or when. That is not yours to handle. If it were, you would be carrying a burden that was never meant for you. Instead, become like a child, trusting, simple, and certain. A child doesn't question a promise. A child believes. Let go of the timing. Let go of needing it right now. The moment you stop needing it, you allow it in. That is the paradox. When you release your grip, it comes to you. Focus on the state, not the world. The world will always follow the state. If what you see doesn't match what you feel yet, don't worry. It's only the echo of your past thinking. Stay in the new feeling. Let it settle in you. Be patient, but not with frustration, with peace. Think of it like a river. It flows naturally to its destination. You don't have to force it. But if you resist it, you create struggle. Your job is not to fight the current. Your job is to trust it. That current is your inner knowing. You don't need to do more. You need to be more. Be the version of yourself who already has what you want. Think like them, feel like them, live like them. When you fully become that person, there is nothing left to chase. You are already complete. The power is within you. The world reflects you. Once you understand this, you stop reacting to appearances. You stop searching for signs. You simply know. You say it's done and move forward. That is real power. Tonight, before you sleep, let everything go. Release your doubts, your fears, your questions. Enter your imagination and feel your desire as real. Hear what you want to hear. See what you want to see. Then sleep in that feeling, knowing the seed is planted. Tomorrow, live as if it's already yours. Because in truth, it is. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to trust, to relax, and to remember who you are. Everything begins within. What you feel now becomes what you see later. So choose your state carefully, not with force, but with calm awareness. Stay steady in it, and watch how everything begins to change. Think back to all the times you tried to force something to happen, pushing, stressing, draining yourself in the process. Now compare that to those unexpected moments when everything just worked out effortlessly, almost like it was handed to you. That wasn't random. It was a reflection of your inner state. When you were calm, detached, and in alignment, things opened up naturally. But when you were tense, doubtful, or trying too hard, nothing seemed to move. There's a lesson in that. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about stepping into a deeper kind of control, the kind that comes from within. Real inner control looks like someone who responds with intention instead of reacting out of habit. Someone who replaces fear with imagination. Someone who stops chasing and starts living as if what they desire is already part of their life. You felt this before. The moment you fully decided something, it started unfolding. The moment you stopped entertaining doubt, reality began to shift. This isn't coincidence, it's a principle. And the more you practice it, the more natural it feels. A relaxed mind is where belief grows. If your words say one thing but your feelings say another, nothing changes. But when you quietly affirm within, when you settle into the feeling of already having what you want, even the most stubborn circumstances begin to soften. Life isn't ignoring you. It responds precisely to what you consistently feel and assume. If you carry doubt, you'll see more reasons to doubt. If you hold certainty, life reflects that back to you. You don't get mixed results. You get what matches your dominant state. So choose peace as your baseline. Let fulfillment be where you live, not just something you visit occasionally. External conditions are just reflections of past beliefs. Change what's happening inside, and the outside has no choice but to follow. The outer world doesn't create, it mirrors. You're not at the mercy of circumstances. You set the tone. If something feels off in your life, adjust your inner state. Reconnect with the feeling of your wish already fulfilled. Let that feeling become familiar again. Every great teaching points to the same truth in different words. The power is within you. Yet, it's easy to forget. We look outward, wait for permission, or hope circumstances will change first. But nothing shifts until we do. The moment you take back ownership of your imagination, you take back control of your life. And imagination doesn't thrive under pressure. It opens up in stillness and trust. Stop worrying about timing. Stop comparing your journey. Stop watching for results every second. Those habits keep you stuck in the feeling of not having. Instead, step into the present moment fully. Everything exists now. You're not becoming, you're revealing what's already there. And the fastest way to reveal it is to live from it. Not pretending, but embodying it. Think from it, act from it, feel from it. You might be tempted to say you don't see it yet. But this isn't about what your eyes show you. It's about what you hold in your imagination. When you can clearly see and feel your desire internally, you've already set things in motion. Like planting a seed, you don't keep digging it up to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You allow it to unfold. When doubt comes up, and it will, you don't fight it. You gently return to the feeling you chose. You revisit the vision. You settle back into it. You're never stuck unless you decide you are. You're only limited if you accept appearances as final. Once you understand that your assumptions shape your experience, everything changes. If you want love, begin with the assumption that you are already loved. If you want wealth, feel what it's like to already have it. If you want health, identify with being whole. Then live in a way that supports that identity. Let your thoughts, words, and actions align with it. Release the need for constant proof. Let go of needing reassurance. Drop the habit of worrying. Those are just old patterns trying to come back. But you're not that version of yourself anymore. You've shifted. And when you shift internally, life adjusts around you. It has to. Your assumptions shape the outcome. So approach this with a sense of ease, even playfulness, like a child building something just for the joy of it. Live in the feeling of already having what you want, not just in what you say, but in how you carry yourself, how you feel, how you move through life. That's what letting go really means. It's not about losing desire, it's about releasing resistance. From that place, life becomes lighter. You begin to notice changes without chasing them. People respond differently. Opportunities show up in ways you didn't expect. Things start aligning naturally. And you don't cling to any of it. You stay steady within because you understand who you are and what you've chosen to believe. The world reflects your inner state. So when you feel whole, life mirrors that back to you. Others may not understand your calm. They might wonder how you stay so grounded. But your confidence doesn't come from what's happening around you. It comes from what you've built within. You no longer feel the need to struggle or force outcomes. You simply return again and again to the knowing of what's already yours. Persistence doesn't mean pushing harder. It means settling deeper into that knowing. Each time doubt appears, you gently redirect yourself. You return to the vision. You step back into the feeling. Over time, it becomes natural, like a place you live in, not just visit. You stop looking for signs because you become the evidence. You stop seeking validation because your certainty speaks for itself. There's a quiet confidence that comes from within, and it carries you forward effortlessly. As you relax more, your imagination becomes clearer and more vivid. You stop trying to control every detail, and in that release, you discover a deeper kind of control. You begin to understand what teaches. It's not effort that creates results, it's imagination combined with feeling. Once you've accepted the outcome internally, everything else is just the unfolding of that decision. You're not here to struggle endlessly. You're here to realize your creative power, to remember who you truly are, the one shaping your experience from within. And once that clicks, you stop asking when things will happen. You stop looking outside for answers. You realize everything you need is already within you, waiting for your belief to give it form. So you let go, not because you've given up, but because you trust. You trust what you've planted. You trust the timing, even if it doesn't match your expectations. You don't interfere with the process. You nurture it with faith, with joy, with a sense of ease. This is how the new version of you takes shape. And as you truly let go, life becomes enjoyable again. You notice the small things. You feel present. Because now, the moment isn't empty. It's full of quiet certainty that what you desire is already unfolding. Even before anything shows up physically, something inside you already feels complete. You start moving through life like someone who already has what they once wanted. You carry yourself differently. You breathe differently. Even your words begin to hold a quiet confidence. And slowly, the world starts to reflect that back. not because you forced it, but because you became it. This is what most people miss. They try to make things happen, and in doing so, they keep reinforcing the idea that it hasn't happened yet. But the person who relaxes into the vision, who accepts it as already real, experiences results with far less struggle. It's not about magic, it's about being in sync. It's not about controlling everything, it's about releasing resistance. And letting go isn't losing, it's returning to who you really are. The part of you that already knows, the part that sees clearly, the part that says I am, and gives life to that identity. You were never meant to feel powerless in this world. You were meant to shape it, not through force, but through what you assume to be true. Not through noise, but through inner calm. There's a quiet space within you that holds everything. A stillness that understands imagination is not just a tool, but something sacred. And once you connect with that, it stays with you unless you turn away from it. So stay present with it, not in a tense way, but with appreciation. Talk to yourself gently, in your own mind, as if what you want is already part of your life. Say things like, I am fulfilled, I am loved, I am secure, I am successful. Not to convince yourself, but because you're choosing to accept it as truth. The more you return to that feeling, the more natural it becomes. And as it becomes real inside, life begins to reflect it outside. Life responds to how you feel and what you assume. It doesn't question you, it mirrors you. So you don't need to explain your dreams to anyone or defend your vision. All you need to do is step into that state internally. And once you're there, stay there with ease. Let it settle into you. Let it feel normal. As it becomes normal within, it will show up naturally in your world. This isn't about working harder, it's about aligning yourself. It's about remembering who you are and what's already available to you. And in that remembering, there's freedom. Don't worry if things seem slow. That's just the outer world catching up to the shift you've made inside. Don't be afraid of quiet moments either. Those are the spaces where change is taking shape. Even what feels like emptiness isn't empty, it's full of possibility. The person who can sit in that space calmly, trusting what they can't yet see, is the one who experiences the biggest shifts. They've learned how to release control. They understand the rhythm of resting in trust. They've come back to themselves, and that's where everything begins. There will still be moments when doubt tries to creep in. Old thoughts might resurface, but you're not the same anymore. You're aware now, and once you see the truth, it changes how you respond. Nothing can truly shake someone who lives from the feeling of already having what they desire. That person isn't reacting to life, they're shaping it. They're not chasing results, they're embodying them. So your daily focus becomes simple. Return to that state, relax into it. Let go of needing to know how it will happen, when it will happen, or who will make it happen. Trust that things are being arranged for you in ways you don't need to manage. You don't have to control every step. You just have to stay connected to the feeling of the outcome. Live from that place, speak from it, move through life from it, and everything around you begins to mirror it back. You'll start to understand that letting go doesn't mean losing your power. It means stepping fully into it. When you stop trying to control everything outside of you, you reconnect with the only place where real change happens, within. And from that place, you realize that nothing is truly out of reach except what you refuse to believe in. But now, you're choosing to believe. You're choosing to assume. You're choosing to rest in that knowing. Not because you've reached the end, but because you already feel complete. Fulfillment isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's found in the moment you accept it as real. It's there the second you fully say yes to it. And once you do, everything else unfolds naturally, like a flower opening without effort. It doesn't question if it deserves sunlight. It doesn't worry about timing. It simply opens because that's what it's meant to do. And you're no different. When you settle into that inner knowing, you begin to unfold into the version of yourself you've always imagined. It stops feeling forced. It starts to feel natural, like you've come back home to yourself. You're no longer trying to become someone new. You're recognizing who you already are. What you once wanted now feels like a natural part of you. There's a quiet certainty that replaces the need to chase. Every moment becomes another chance to return to that feeling. And if you notice yourself slipping into doubt or worry, don't judge it. Just pause. Breathe. Come back to that inner state. Remind yourself, this is who I am now. The more you do that, the less the outside world affects you. You stop reacting to what you see because you've chosen to trust what you feel within. That becomes your foundation. As Nietzsche's, what you see around you is just a reflection of past beliefs. There's no need to fight it or deny it. You simply rise beyond it by choosing something new internally. You're not a product of your circumstances. You're the source of them. You're the one imagining, shaping, and experiencing all of it. And once you realize that, you can't go back to the old way of thinking. You become aware. And from that awareness, everything changes. You stop trying so hard. You start imagining more. You stop forcing outcomes. You begin to feel them instead. You stop doubting. You start living from that inner certainty. You understand that creation doesn't begin outside, it begins within. The world you see is just the reflection. Your inner state is what projects it. So you clear your mind of fear. You focus your imagination. You allow yourself to see clearly what you want. And you let that vision guide you more than anything else. You stop asking life to give you something. You realize it's already within you. The heaven you were searching for isn't somewhere far away. It's the state you choose to live in. It's the feeling of already having. It's the quiet knowing that what you imagined is already yours. And from that place, everything flows naturally. When you live from that inner peace, things begin to shift in ways that feel almost effortless. What once seemed impossible starts to feel normal. And what once felt distant now feels close. That's why you relax. Because you finally understand you don't need to force anything. You just need to be aligned with it. This is why you choose to let go. Not because you're being passive, but because you understand your power. Not because you've given up, but because you've settled into the feeling that it's already done. And once that feeling becomes natural, it starts shaping your entire reality. The way you speak changes, your energy shifts, even your body reflects a quiet confidence. People notice it, not because you're trying harder, but because you're in alignment. You're not chasing a version of yourself anymore. You're resting in it. And from that state, things begin to fall into place. You don't have to force, plan every detail, or manipulate outcomes. You trust, but not blindly. It's a steady, grounded trust built on knowing how this works. You understand that imagination is the real source, and what you consistently accept within will eventually show up outside. What you agree with internally becomes your experience. This isn't guesswork, it's a principle, it's how reality forms. So you keep returning to that feeling. You nurture it. You revisit the inner scene where your desire is already fulfilled. You let yourself feel how real and natural it is. And when you step back into your day, you carry that same feeling with you. You move through life as someone who already has it. Not to convince anyone else, but because your inner state has changed. You're no longer operating from lack. You're coming from a sense of having. And that's what life responds to. You don't need to explain your vision or prove anything to anyone. You don't even need to talk about it. Your inner state is what matters most. That's the real signal you're sending out. Life doesn't respond to words alone. It reflects what you truly accept as real. So accept it now, not someday, not after you see proof, but now. Live from that place, breathe from it. When you go to sleep, stay in that assumption. Don't replay problems in your mind. Instead, replay the outcome you want. See it clearly, feel it. Let yourself drift off in that state. This is how the deeper mind takes it in, not through effort, but through repetition and ease. And once it's impressed within, your outer world has to adjust. It can't do anything else, because it follows what's happening inside you. You begin to see delays differently. They don't frustrate you anymore. You recognize them as part of the process. Even detours feel purposeful. Your inner certainty doesn't waver. You're no longer focused on time. You're anchored in truth. And the truth is, you've already claimed it within. So it has to show up outside. Not as luck, not as a surprise, but as a natural result. You planted the seed, you nurtured it with belief, now it grows. People might notice your calm and wonder how you stay so steady, but you understand something they may not. Real power is quiet. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't try to prove itself. It simply exists. And because you've stepped into that, you move differently. You trust more easily. You release control faster. You stop clinging to what's happening outside and return to what's happening within. And in doing that, you realize everything is already being given to you. The heart of this message is simple yet powerful. True change begins within. When you stop chasing and fully embody the feeling that your desire is already yours, your outer world naturally aligns to reflect it. Trust replaces effort, inner certainty replaces doubt, and life begins to mirror your belief instead of your fear. By living from this state of fulfillment, you shift from seeking results to becoming them. And in that quiet knowing, everything you once desired unfolds effortlessly as a reflection of who you've chosen to be.